What's up, family? This is your man, not your boy. Go black to Africa. Peace and blessings to each and every one of you all. Power to the people. And I like to say, I hope that you are having a beautiful day, beautiful morning, beautiful afternoon. For I am in my 20th, I think, location in Africa. Just arrived today in Mauritius. Got here and I'm chilling out. Just got something to eat. So about six. What time is it right now here? 5:36. So I'm going to kick back, relax, because I could not get my SIM card, but I'm here on Wi-Fi in my place. I'll get out and about. Hopefully, I want to do some lives. I tell you, Seychelles was hard. I was wanting to do some lives in Seychelles, but the connect their internet, I'm gonna have to say it. I think their connection was the worst country I've been in. I couldn't get off one live. I couldn't get off one live. Y'all know me. I like to do a live video, kind of give y'all a feel of people when I'm walking around. So I'm gonna try to do that too here. And I'm not spending a lot of time here. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time here in Mauritius, but I will be moving on to other countries because I got to on the back end of here in another month or so. I got to meet my wife, so I'm knocking out these islands real quick. You know, Seychelles, Mauritius, Madagascar. Then I'll be back on the mainland, and I'll be knocking those out. But I don't want to spend too much time on these islands because me and my wife is going to she wants to come see these islands. So instead of me trying to see everything and experience it and have to do it over again, I'll wait till we'll do it together. So, but I get to check it off my list of countries to visit. Let's get out here to see what the people out here who's up in the chat channel. We got Chantel. Hey. Fat Albert today. What's going on with you? Gas them up. What's up, champ? What's good with you, brother? Greta Woodson. Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings to you too. Mariah M. Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings to you too, my sister. Aloye D. What's happening? Sorry, bro. There are no Nigerian slave traders because no Nigerian sold slave. Okay, yeah, all right. We're gonna get into that. This woman right here, many. Well, I can say many. I've heard of this woman before, and I did. Her name came up in a video that I was really into. So I did some research, kind of read into it, and I found some information. And we know there are women who were out here who were slave traders. We know that men, women, were slave traders, and we're gonna kind of read on some things of what it has been said about her. For those Nigerians, you are more than welcome to leave your comment. Matter of fact, you'll be able to call in because I'm gonna open up the lines today. Peace and blessings to you too, Tana. I do. Greetings, family. Rim bells. Peace and blessings. What time is it here? I already told you. 5:36. J Rod. Peace. You hear an echo. Let me know if y'all hearing an echo. Somebody said, Chantel said no echo. Shalom, MMK. Yes, peace, golden lady, to you too. Patrick, hey, go black. Yeah, hey, what's happening? King Ganda. All right. Redemption. What's happening? We's here. Shalom to you too, Weenan. All right. I am well, AV. Hope you are well. Hard 3 tell. What's going on, sir? Hey, life is going on. TK, peace and blessings. Power to the people. Kim Carter, hello. Thanks for your videos. Thank you for watching the videos. Akila Che, peace to you too. Y'all forgive me. I know I'll be jacking up some names, you know, I'll be jacking some names up. Kevin Jones, what's good with you? All is well here. Was it Melanie? Peace and blessings to you too. Charlene, hi. Yes, morning, says Black Empowerment 01. Yeah, so let's get into this right here. War for good, let it be known, brother. All right. Lee D24, love you too. I know I can't go through all of them. We got more and more people coming in, but peace and blessings to each and every one of you all. Somebody asked me, why am I doing this? Because some people don't like really sometimes to share our dirt. And as painful it is to me, because y'all know I'm the one who's out here saying, come to the motherland. I've said the motherland is not perfect. Come to the motherland. Come to visit, come to invest, come to get your portion, come to be able to see the difference in cultures, come to rid yourself of a lot of the ignorance that we've been indoctrinated from the countries of UK, Europe, America. Come and see some of these countries and people and how different they are. It will open you up. It will rain. It will rain and bring creativity in and out of you. It will be a healing for some. It will be opportunities for some. Africa ain't perfect, but it is here for those who wants to come in and maybe take root. Those who wants to come enjoy, those who wants a breath of different fresh air, those who wants a different experience. Africa, the origin of man. Africa, the motherland. Africa, the breath of the world. Africa, supplying the wealth to all of the world. Africa, where you, whether you black, white, Chinese, Indian, whatever, come from Africa. But as painful as it is for me to even be sharing that we always have had people in the mix who were up to no good. We have people who had no morals, who had no type of integrity, who had no sense of righteousness, who they would sell you, kill you, do whatever it is in order for them to gain their wealth, to be able to position themselves in positions. These people you have to look out for. Now, if you look at the thumbnail, I've listed some people because some people said, why don't you list such and such from the last video I did? Please check out the last video, what I did yesterday. But why did I do the last? Why didn't I list just many of people that, in my opinion, are sellouts? Now, Go Black, what is your definition of a sellout? Anybody who is trying to sell the system to you as the way for you to be in, be part of, affiliated with, those who are being a voice, who are promoting, who are pushing agendas, those who have a jelly back, limp wrists, don't have a leg to stand on, that won't speak against the wrongs and doings in the propaganda that's being sent around the globe, but they will make their millions of dollars and corrupt societies, will corrupt little boys and girls, will try to change the mindsets of others, and will zip their lip and say nothing but try to collect their billions of dollars. These type of people you might love. You might think that they are people that are like, on the up and up and they're good. Look, don't get fooled. Don't get fooled. Because their hands is tied to the devil. They're getting paid to the devil by the devil. They are having allegiance to the devil, and they won't speak against the devil. Hollywood, the music industries, these people who are in political powers, these people who are in churches, these people, they are all connected in a circle, in a ring, and they are doing nothing but causing damage to a people around the world. I don't care if you're black, white, orange, yellow, green. These people are not good. But as far as in the black community that we like to support, or we like to praise, or we like to uplift, these people here are no good for you. They have these crafty, conniving shows that do nothing but push ignorance, filth. It promotes different lifestyles. It promotes killing. It promotes drug selling and drug use. It promotes division amongst families, against husband and wives. These people are dangerous. If they can't bring you out of where we are stuck in, these people are dangerous. So let's get into it. Let's read up on this Nigerian woman who, from my understanding, there is still a statue standing in Nigeria, that I came across one photo that there was some people who were requesting for the statue to be taken down. And sometimes out of ignorance, um, people put up statues and really don't know the impact of their silliness that they have done, or their devastation they have caused amongst the people. So let's get into this right here. Let me share my screen, and we're going to talk about this sister here. Now, y'all got to forgive my language because I speak English, but Afunroye Tinubu, she was born in 1810 and passed away in 1887. She was a powerful Yoruba female aristocrat, merchant, slave trader in pre-colonial and colonial Nigeria. She was a political and economically influential figure in Lagos during the reigns of Obas, the monarchs, Adela, Dosumu, Aluwole, and Kiltiye. I know I jacked those names up. It don't matter though. Helping the latter two Obas gain political power, she was married to Oba Adela of Lagos, and she used his connection to establish a successful trade network with European merchants and slaves, tobacco, salt, cotton palm oil, and firearms. She allegedly owned over 360 personal slaves. Did you hear that? We're going to get into that. These people that you look up to in America, who actually is running the slaves. Hey, hold on a second, y'all. Hey, love, I'm doing a live right now.
Hey. Okay, bye.
All right. So let's continue on reading. She sold slaves to Brazilians and European merchants in violations of an 1852 treaty with Great Britain, outlawing the slave trade in Lagos. Her economic hegemony over Lagos and secret slave trading resulted in her coming into conflict with the British as well as other Lagos merchants. She was exiled to Abeokuta under British pressure after plotting an unsuccessful conspiracy to remove British influence from Lagos. While in Abeokuta, she helped supply the city with munitions during its victorious war against the kingdom of Dahoma, thus granting her the chieftaincy title of Laoloda. Gas me up, going to have to help me in some of these names since he says from Nigeria. In her honor, she died in Abeokuta in 1887. The landmark Tinubu Square in Lagos, Nigeria, was named after her and also has a statue of her. She also has a statue in Abeokuta, Nigeria. Now let's go on down really quick here and read some more of her. Her early life. Tinubu was born in Ojokodo forest areas of Igboland. Her father's name was Alumosa. She was allegedly of Owu ancestry, either through her maternal or paternal side. Madame Tinubu was reportedly married multiple times. Her first marriage was to a Awu man. It bore two sons. After her Awu husband died, she remarried the exile Oba Adela Ajusun in 1833. Let me bring this up a little. Maybe y'all can be able to read too. While visiting Abeokuta, was allegedly charmed by Tinubu. She moved with exiled Oba to Badagry, which was traditionally the place of refuge for Lagos monarchs. At Badagry, she exploited Adela's connection to build a formidable business trading in tobacco, salt, and slaves. The exile Oba was still in Badagry when his successor, Oba Adewu, died. Prince Kosoko Adewu Ojulari's brother was a major contender for the now vacant throne. Aletu Odibo, the chief kingmaker, thwarted Kosoko's aspiration and Adela was invited by him to become Oba again. Tinubu accompanied Adela to Lagos, but the Oba died 2 years later. After Adela's death in 1837, Tinubu reportedly supported Oluwole, her stepson, in his bid for the Obaship Lagos over the Kosoko. Well, y'all can read all that right there because these names here is like tripping me out. But anyway, let's get down here to some interesting things here of when she was basically had some power and stuff like that. Let's see here. After Akichoe died, Tinubu returned to Lagos and gave her support to his successor, Dosumu. Let me shrink this because I can't go back and forth. Uh, Under Dosumu's reign, Tinubu had a massive security force composed of slaves, and she sometimes executed orders, usually given by the king. As a result, Dosumu grew wary of her influence in Lagos. A new development was the colonial government support to migrants from Brazil and Sierra Leone to settle in Lagos. Many of the migrants, also called Cerro and Aguda, were favored by the British in commerce and soon began dominating legitimate trades in Lagos. In 1855, when Campbell traveled to England, Tinubu tried to influence Dosumu to limit the influence of the returnees. Dosumu was non-committal to her request, and consequently, Tinubu alleged to have played a part in an uprising against the returnees in which her husband, Yasufu Bada, was a major participant. When Campbell returned in 1856, he asked Dosumu to banish Tinubu. In May 1856, Tinubu was banished to Aboyo Kuta. Let's see here. Let's go down here. In Aboyo Kuta, Madame Tinubu traded in arms and supplied Aboyo Kutu with munitions in the war against Dahomey. Her activities in the war earned her the chieftaincy title of Lielode of Egobalan. While in Abeokuta, she allegedly opposed colonial policies in Lagos. In 1865, a fire engulfed the shops of some traders, including some of her properties in Abeokuta. This doesn't appear to have weakened her financially. However, Tinubu became involved in Abeokuta king-making activities as well, supporting Prince Oyekan over Ademola for the Aleke of Egbalan title in 1879. Now, I had to get through all that. Views on her slavery. The often cited biography titled Madame Tinubu, Merchant and Kingmaker, authored by Nigerian historian Aledipo Yamitan, paints her views regarding slave trading. On one occasion during her final sojourn in Abeokuta, she was alleged to have sold a young boy into slavery and was accused of it. When arraigned before Ogundipe Aletis over the matter, she reportedly explained, "I have a large household and I must feed them. I need money to do that. That's why." Another section of Yamitan's biography, referred to as the Amedia Ojo Affairs, captures a slave trading deal gone sour in 1853, notably after the 1852 treaty abolishing slavery in Lagos, wherein Tinubu tells another slave trader, Domingo Martinez, that she would rather drown the slaves, 20 in number, than sell them at a discount. Tinubu died in 1887 and is buried in Ojokodo quarters in Abeokuta. Tinubu Square on Lagos Island, a place previously known as Independence Square, is named after her. It had long been known by the name before the country's independence, but it was renamed Independence Square by the leaders of the First Republic. A statue of Tinubu stands in Abeokuta. So we want to look at that. That says that she has owned over 360 slaves. Her integrity didn't falter by her so-called wanting to drown slaves because she rather not get a discount for them and wanted full price for them, selling kids or whatever shit it is that she might do. Now let's get into this right here, because boy did I suffer through them African names. And I tell you, it's funny because English, I had learned in my travels that speaking English, you have a disadvantage because how we pronounce vowels are almost contrary to what most of the world pronounce it. Whether, the A is, like the Spanish, for instance, that's identical. That's probably a universe how you would pronounce the vowels in most words. So anyway, let's get into the crux of this right here, because this is my main point. My main point is that today we have to open our eyes to realize that people are selling other people beyond than just the physical shackles and as a so-called personal being to be sold into slavery, but selling people into the slavery, into mental as well as into a system. There are people who will stand before governors and state representatives and Congress and the president, and will turn around and basically do injustice for Black people. When you hear some of them say, racism doesn't exist in America. When you hear them say, America's fair and is equitable across the board. When you hear them or watch them wear shirts like White Lives Matter, or when you see these people who tell you to go out and vote so that you can vote hopefully for their party, when you see these people who will try to get you to come into their organization, their religion, their sex, to be able to have a control over you, these people are no good. These people, I've said before, I said yesterday's show, if people are not trying to wake you up and bring you out against the systems, whether it's the governments, whether it is organizations and institutions, they're not really for you. When a person will not lose their wealth over trying to speak for injustices for a people. The people who got the money are not going to speak out against agendas that are attacking our children. The education system pushing in agendas that subject our children to different lifestyles that we object to. These people who have these platforms or have these positions are not going to speak out against it. Matter of fact, be sad to say, because we are Black and we work in these positions, we are afraid, and we have this conscious mind, or we have this mindset to where that if we do speak out, we are afraid that we will be ridiculed, looked down upon, or have others think that we are favoring our own people. This is sad. But this is another interesting thing that this was said about this woman. She had some political power. I'm telling y'all, once you wake up that the political arena is not for you, it will never be for you. Just like Kamala Harris said, she said, quote, I can't just speak for Black people. I have to speak for everybody, all people. But it's mighty funny that Biden can speak for the Spanish people. He'll speak for the Asian people. He'll speak for the gay people. He will make these bills. They will go ahead and try to pass laws. And yet they have yet to do anything on these bills for Black people. The governments, I tell you, I can't say all government officials are sellouts. But I'll tell you this right here. They are in positions where they will be strong-armed, and they will be basically used or be bullied or forced to go in directions beyond their control. You might have a heart to go into a government system, but you are not greater than the power of those who have been holding this down for all of these years. We cannot, you know, we cannot, as we cannot, sit back and just support people. I mean, who really these people have no sense. These people have no moral fibers. They have no self ethics. They have nothing. The only thing they got is money, and they got status. This is all they got. And it is amazing. We worship, I ain't gonna say we, because I don't worship none of them. It's amazing a lot of you all worship them. But what I'm going to do is open the lines up. And I'm going to open the lines up. I want you to share with me, or the people, who do you think is a detriment to the edification, the edification, the buildup of a people who are suppressed, oppressed, and depressed around the globe? Who are some of these people in your mindsets that people need to look out for, and share your reason why? I'm gonna put the link in the chat. And let's get into the convo. The link right now is in the chat. And so, because my thing is, we got to stop walking around with a zip lip and not exposing these people who are a detriment to your kids, who are doing nothing but promoting and pushing this mess. Hooray for Atlanta attacking this rap circle of thugs who are going around promoting crime. Hats off to them. Hey, if you're going to come in my chat, this is an adult conversation. You got to show your face. So gas me up. If you want to come on the show, you got to show your face. My show's a little differently. It's about what you say and how you respond. See if you man or woman enough to say it while people look at you. I expose myself every day, deal with threats all the time. I ain't scared. And if one cannot show their face and speak to a people, let me tell y'all something. Be leery of people who talk behind silhouettes and talk a lot of crap, but can't show who they are. Be leery of these people. You see, while others put themselves on the line by speaking up for what they feel in their opinions or their views of what's right and with the betterment of people, you got people talk all this stuff behind the scenes, but don't even show their faces. Not on my show. I don't kick it like that. This is your man, not your boy. And I want to have conversation with men and women. That's how it is. Somebody said, gas him up, ain't gonna cam up. I don't know. I ain't never seen a brother because he always behind a silhouette, but this ain't an attack on him. Not at all. Not at all. But my thing is that if we gonna have conversation, because this is why we have this tear down on many people's shows, because they argue and fight against each other, but they ain't saying, debating, whatever. And it could be okay to debate, but yet though, you know what? Ain't nobody showing their face. Inwa, Indu, Edu. Y'all come on the show. You got to show your face. You got to. This is right here. This is adult conversation, because we need to understand there are those who are coons, those who are spies, plant agents. There are those who are trolls. There are those who are agitators. There are those out there who cause a lot of mess. And you ever see when two people are about to get into a fight, in the crowd you have the ones that in the crowd that's egging them on, but they are the weak ones. They're the afraid ones, but they want to egg you on to fight. Ooh, you hear what they say? The mouth almighty, tongue everlasting, the ones that never shut up. You remember that song? You talk too much, Run DMC. The ones that always got to go tell somebody's business to get something started. These people here are those also who causes a lot of mess within a community. Who afraid? Gas them up. I see you dropped off. You're not going to come on live? In what? You got to come in live. You got to show your face. You got to show your face. Because this is the problem we have. This is a problem we have. We can stand behind the scenes and throw dirt and duck. While I'm sitting here taking blows from y'all jokers who got all the mouth to say, but can't show face. This is, you know what I'm saying? I deal with threats all the time. I get these ads to these people who, oh yeah, you know, look, yo, we don't want you here. Yeah, if I see you, this and that, or if I, okay, all right, well, you know what? It's easy to say that when you are behind the scenes. It's easy to disagree with me when you behind the scenes. It's easy for you to ridicule somebody or attack somebody when you behind the scenes. But are you man and woman enough to stand up and say it in people's faces? Hey, gas me up. Look. Nah, see, look at his picture. I don't even know who this guy really is. He's got a cartoon character there. Gas me up, you know. I mean, for real. I mean, only time I've really seen you or heard of you really was, I think, on Dinah Samir's show and all that right there. But you know, my thing is this right here. But this is the problem in the community. We got too many scared people. We got too many limp wrist males, excuse me, not men, limp wrist males. They talk a good game, but scared. See, these are sellouts. These are the ones who keeps things going. These are the ones who has no resolutions. These are the ones who ain't out in the communities doing for the betterment. These are the ones who ain't doing what they claim they are supposed to be for a people, but really are against the people that keeps the fire going. They throw the gasoline and then they stand back and they laugh. These type of people are what we and who we should be staying away from. For real. You see, just like the sister we were talking about, a Roya, you know, a Nigerian who owned slaves, sold slaves, and they got a statue of her. You know, in America, when people started digging through, you remember that after George Floyd, people started digging into history to find out these white supremacist people, and started digging through the history books and finding out these statues that were in these busts and these different artifacts or whatever that was all in America. People's like, tear that down. That joker was a slave trader. He was a slave owner. He was a racist, and people started tearing him down. Sad to say is, like, you know, I'm quite sure they're in Nigeria, you know, a lot of people don't even know the history. But people are waking up. And for y'all Nigerians, y'all should go ahead and do a true history check on that, to see whether or not who these people are in your community. Instead of praising them with statues, that is actually a spiritual curse. For such matters that stand on statues that linger in your towns, in your cities, in your countries, is a constant spiritual reminder of the devastation it's caused you and your people. Most definitely. The link is in the chat. I'm putting the link back in here. The link is in the chat. Please share. If nobody calls in here in the next couple minutes, all right there, that will be my take. But my thing is this right here. I wanted to bring up another one because, yeah, we got to expose those. We got to expose and come to the truth. Yes, Africans sold brothers and sisters, but brothers and sisters in America's selling each other every day. Selling you your drugs, selling you that garbage in the music, selling you the agendas in the movies. They selling the ideal of killing your babies at the abortion clinics. They are killing one another. all of these things that we are doing towards each other, and we need to really stand up and expose them. We need to expose them. There needs to be a washing away. There needs to be a cleansing. There needs to be a detox. There needs to be that. There needs to be. How are we going to move forward when every effort that's been Marcus Garvey, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X had sellouts that caused the downfalls of them? It was always one of us being pimped by a system to take down the movement or the efforts for the betterment of a people. And if we can't define who and what is sellouts, then we're going to continue to vote for people. We're going to continue to praise these people and uplift these people and not realize there goes one right there. He's not good for the community. There's that whore prostitute that stands on our corner that we're going to call the police officers to get her nasty tail off the street. There goes that John. He's out here looking for those prostitutes. There goes that crackhead. There goes that thug. There goes that shooter. We are going to expose them to cleanse up the street. Isn't that what we should do? We got to police our own. They told you snitching is something we shouldn't do so that they can run loose around the streets and have you hidden in your house. We should police our streets. We should police the communities. We should police our cities. We should police and because if we don't, guess who takes over? Now you caught in the middle crying because your baby was shot and killed. Now you crying because your freedom, you can't walk the streets at night. Your child can't even play out in the streets because of the fact that you have been allowing these jokers to run rampant in the neighborhoods, and we gotta call them out. These are slave traders. These are traders in the community. These are moles. These are plants. These are detriment to a people's spiritual health, to their mental health, to all of every and anything that's affiliated with the health and the well-being of a community of people. And if at any time that these people are doing such actions, 911. Hell, Karens and Kens do it against us every day. That's real. I got my brother Prince shot. Hey, brother, what's up? I think you got yourself muted. You muted. You unmute yourself. There you
Shalom,
go.
shalom.
Shalom,
Mighty
brother.
Hebrew, Prince Charlene. How you feeling?
Man, I'm awesome, man. I'm awesome.
I see that you touched up on that woman king. I just finished doing a piece on that. Real heavy, over like 3,000 people already watched it. And I'm glad you bringing this up. I'm glad you bringing this up because, can you hear me? You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you because I want you to go in and share because you're a thorough brother. So I know you got something to add to this story, man. Please introduce yourself, man, and let people know, man, who you are and all that right there.
Absolutely. Shalom Bahashim Yahweh HaKodesh Yisrael. This is the tribal minister, Prince Charlene Dean, Ben Ami Montezaya, Ben Yasha Allah Senior, also known worldwide as the Mighty Hebrew. I'm an understudier and the Prince by the way of the late Prince Al-Ciel Ben Israel, coming out of the community of the African Hebrew Israelites of Jerusalem and Dimona, Israel, Northeastern Africa. Founded Hebrew Israelite Sovereign Nationalism, Hebrew Anthropogenesis, Hebrew Cosmogenesis, and the Mighty Hebrew University. So let's get to this point because I'm sitting back, yeah, and I'm analyzing the whole demographics of this movie. And it reminds me of this whole stigma to dehumanize the black man. And I'm not making this a man and a woman issue. I'm basing it on we as a people have this, this taste to let others write our narrative. Like when you watch the movie Braveheart, Braveheart was written, directed, and he even starred Mel Gibson. When you look at the acting, the genre of it, you see that they act according to that dark age reality of what was going on in Scotland. But when you look at The Woman King, first of all, the writer or the screenplay writer was a Euro Gentile. The co-screenplay writer was a Euro Gentile. The producer of the movie was a Euro Gentile. And the director, and there's no offense to anybody, was a mulatto. We talking as men and women. So when you study Dahomey, which is now Benin, it is a historical fact that the movie The Woman King was 98% inaccurate. Like literally, hands down, anybody that's been on the ground in Africa know that that story didn't go down the way that was, given into our people. When you study the Dahomey is pre-colonialism or pre-colonialistic Dahomey, they were a warmongering nation that was into a lot of things that will be considered today a crime against the human family of nations. They involved themselves in slavery or capturing their enemies and enslaving them before the Europeans even came on the continent. This is just historical. When you look at the Dahomean tribe or so-called Amazons, we got to look at the psychology of the movie. And the slogan, they're telling these young women that they're men now. And they can't have any type of sexual relations with a man. They can't marry. They can't have children. They can't have none of these things. So in the written and the oral traditions, what these women would do is literally castrate the lower jaws of these men that they conquered. And then they would just let them run all around the community, bleeding from out of their mouth. Then they even have oral tradition that when these women would conquer these men, they would castrate them and have them walking around the community as a trophy of conquest. And we also have oral documented records that they practice forms of cannibalism against their enemies, drinking the blood from the skulls of their enemies to absorb the power from the enemies that they conquered. It is a historical fact, even after the said slave trade, underground with the Spanish, they were still capturing and selling slaves to such a point that the British had to come in and stop them. Why, sisters, would you commend a movie of the women that were responsible for your demise? That's a problem. We have this sensation to want to embrace everything that's dark. Just because it's dark, that don't mean necessarily we have to glorify that or even be a part of that. You've been to Africa many times. You live in Africa. I live in Africa. We know that there are different nations, there are different tribes, there are different ethnic groups. Just because everybody dark don't mean we're the same lineage. And we have to get out of this mind state believing that just because they're looked upon as glory, that we embrace that. Now imagine if men walked around and called themselves man queens. Let's just imagine that men walk around and call themselves man queens. We would look at that as being funny. If a sister was in the midst of 5 brothers and them brothers is running around calling each other man queens, what you think? How you think that sister gonna view them men? She gonna look at them with some form of disdain, associating them with some type of homosexual tendencies. But then when it comes to the woman king, Why is it always people portraying a narrative about women being dominant over men in the black community? Also, another thing that we never take notice of in these movies, such as The Color Purple, which was another disgusting movie that they used to dehumanize black men. When you look at Harper, he was a coward. His wife was beating on him and beating him up. And the only way she can be stopped and humbled was by the so-called white man hitting her in the face with that gun and humbled her. So now that was symbolic to the United States government through the welfare systems and anything else they can use. They humble our sisters to be a double agent to destroy the black nucleus, the black family. Then you got Whoopi, who's being molested by a grown man when she's 12 years old. That same grown man sends her sister over to Africa to break the bond that she had with sisterhood. So now you're portraying the so-called black man as being the cause of breaking up the sisterhood. Then you got her so-called child molesting husband's father, who is a womanizer. All he does is talk about people all day and women and how wicked they are. Then you got this woman that Whoopi's so-called husband likes, and now she's having a lesbian affair. The whole entire movie is basically the same when you look at The Woman King. When The Woman King first comes on, you got these women totally annihilating a group of men. Totally, like just total destruction. And when we studied the military of them Dahomean women and the so-called Amazons, they was actually getting their asses whooped with 90-something% of their battles. And then the French came and destroyed them. So what I'm saying is we have this fixation to let other people give us our history. We have to stop that. The Woman King was not about glorifying black women. Those white authors, their intention wasn't to uplift black women. No, it wasn't to. There's a difference from feminism versus being dealing in womanhood. It's two different things. So we got to stop letting others tell our history. We have to stop that. We have to stop taking these trinkets of coonerism, because that's what it is. It's coonery. And one more thing I want to say before I pass it on. It kills me, right, that we have these two agendas, because we real men and women, we talking this out. We have two machines right now. We have the angry black woman, and then we have the alphabet boys amongst the African-American populace, so to say. Because I'm not trying to get your channel strike or none of that. Y'all know what I'm talking about. They work hand in hand to destroy the black man image. Just like that new video that Trina just did with, what's his name? I don't even know that guy's name. Sauce, whatever. And telling them to vote or they can't get the nookie. And they're using all these elements to demasculinize the black man. And then if you watch the end of the video, you see them branding on his forehead with this vote. So it's like, if you don't do what daddy tell you to do, talking about the government, you're not going to get none of this. So in their mind, they have this mind state that black men they only can be tamed through sex. You got to see this, what they're doing. And why is it that every time they make these movies, the only way a black woman can get in power or get this internal feministic power, she has to first be ravished or raped? If you notice all these African-American feministic movies, they always got to get raped first. What I'm saying, this is a Masonic ritual that they're involved in. Because why is it that all these movies we see, before she has this internal power, she has to get raped? And then after she gets raped, then she gets this power, and now it's all out on men. These are the questions that we have to ask in our community. Why is sexuality being used not in a way of spirituality, but in a way to destroy the black man populace? Why is it that they're using our women through social media, through the educational system, through the welfare system? They're using everything to destroy that nucleus, and that all other nations can come to America and be patriotic. The Chinaman can come, the East Indian can come, the different African nations, they can all be patriotic, man, woman, child, success, work. But then when it comes to us, we can't use that. We're too male chauvinistic. Anytime the so-called black man want to use that same system to uprise himself, there's an opposition, which is this woman. But no other people do that. They all come to America and eat from the pot of our captivity. But when it comes to us, we can't do that. So to me, the woman came with shit. And excuse me for my language. It was shit, and there was another vehicle that they used to destroy the black male image. Thank you.
You heard it here first. Prince, appreciate you, brother, your words and your insightfulness and how you have decoded some of these subliminal messages that are being brought across the board before our faces. Because yes, it's a destruction of the mindset. It's a numbing of one's of how people look upon the black male, whether it's the sister that, you know, like you said, the spiritual components that triggers that thing within her, that whether she was violated or whatever, she's got to become the strong woman to go up against the black man. But let me pass the mic over to James Burris. James, what's up, brother?
How you doing, everyone? Everyone on the panel, how you doing, host? Go Back to Africa, and everyone that's watching. Hello, good morning. I wanted to touch on that situation with when he was talking about how they push women to a higher standard than men, which is true, at least over here in the United States of America. It seems like the plan is to take the power away from the black man, you know. And
let me say something, James, not to cut you short.
Go ahead, sir.
But let's
I get cut short all the time. It's okay.
I know Prince. I gave Prince the floor, and he wanted to lay some things to the people. I want you to correlate that with the title we have to kind of keep it on that track of sellouts. So we're talking about sellouts. We're talking about a system that is pushing agendas and stuff like that. So let's try to keep that in line there. All right, keep that in line there.
All right. I really, the only thing I can say about sellouts is I don't like to be around them. I don't like to be around them. The sellouts that I know usually do a crime with you and turn around and go against you, right? So the ones that I know usually they'll be right there next to you, laughing, having fun, everything. But when it get hot, when the heat get hot, and when you have to stand up for justice or whatever, at least the ones I be around, they'll turn on you quick. They'll go.
I want you to continue your point. I didn't want to cut you. When I cut you, I didn't want you to stop what you were saying, but you know, go ahead and bring that in line with whatever, you know.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. So
speak your mind, brother.
With Uncle Sam, right? That's what we call our government here. You can hear it be referred to as Uncle Sam, right? And Uncle Sam is a masculine term, right? It's a masculine term. It's a little different from brandy, you know, vodka, stuff like that. It's actually called Uncle Sam, right? And when women, you know, they feel like the man isn't what they want or need, they will go to court. They'll take you to court, and they will go to Uncle Sam. And that is a form of selling out, because you stripping the opportunity, or at least trying to give the man an opportunity to do the things that Uncle Sam can do for his wife. And if she know what Uncle Sam did to the black man, she would realize, okay, every time I call the police, I could potentially be, setting his life up for failure, right? Or every time I go to court, I can potentially be risking taking all his finances and income, the little that he do have, and putting it into my pockets and putting it to Uncle Sam's pockets. So that comes with child support too, and it's like, well, you take me to court for child support, the court's gonna get they cut before you even get the check. So in their head, they might be thinking, oh, I'm finna go take this black man to court for child support, not realizing Uncle Sam don't care about neither one of us. He don't. Uncle Sam gonna give you your child support because he gonna get taxes off of the top of that. And then I have to ask myself, like, why would our women sell us out? Why? It'll be because of propaganda, lack of resources, protection, and yeah, I don't understand why women sell us out so much, and like it's just evil. It's evil, man. It's evil.
Let me say this right. It sounds like you're speaking from a personal experience, and I'm gonna say this right here. And I know that you're not really.
No, I don't pay child support. I got 4 children. I don't have to pay child support. My woman tried to take me to court for child support. And I just told the judge, I don't feel like I need to pay anything because I do the same thing Uncle Sam would do for her. You see, because Uncle Sam gonna give her free housing, but I can maintain my own household. Uncle Sam will give her food stamps, food. I can work, get some money.
Did the judge ride with you? Did he ride with you?
I never paid child support. My oldest son is 14 years old.
Yeah.
So yeah, the judge agree with me, but he did tell her, if he don't want to be around to take care of his duties, you can always come back. That's what the judge told her. But shit, I guess I'm doing something right. But no, it's not personal experience though. I just look at the brothers and sisters that's around me that go to prison for not paying child support. I'm like,
I'm gonna say this right here. You probably haven't heard me talk on this right here. Sometimes we gotta stop, and I ain't gonna say stop. I think sometimes, like you've made your point and your position on, you feel like sisters sell out brothers.
Sure, in America for sure. For Uncle Sam though, they got a new boyfriend. I'm saying this right here. They got a new boyfriend, and he provide really good for him. So we have to compete with that as men.
We do, and this is my thing right here, is that. I know you're not generalizing all women, but what I'm saying is this right here is that I travel. I've been to 19 countries in Africa. They don't have child support.
That's nice.
Well, here's the problem. These jokers ain't doing their responsibility. They ain't taking care of their kids. They out here making more babies. And my thing is that I believe it would be the same way in damn Erica, because it's just about the fact that there are just some, not all brothers, because believe me, I took my son's mother to court.
Oh, okay.
Those who know my story, been rocking with me for a while, they know I took my son's mother to court. I wanted to pay child support. She didn't want the money. She just didn't want me being in my son's life. And my only course was I had to get in court so I can rightfully have the time with my son. So every story is different. Yet we're all fighting because we feel like maybe we have been done wrong by the other. So we go sell each other out. We'll sell each other out because we feel as though we've been hurt or whatever the case may be in certain aspects like that. I'm just talking about that child support stuff. I don't even want to go down that road, child support, because we're talking about a notorious Nigerian slave trader and these people out here who are even promoting these agendas, these messages, these lifestyles. They are bringing people into slavery when it comes to the mental capacity, the spiritual capacity, whether it's in churches, whether it's in organizations. These are detriments to community. These are people who will be on your street corners, who are selling the dope, selling their bodies, who hold you hostage in your own household. Your children can't even walk down the street. And then we talk about Black Lives Matter. We're talking about people who done sold the neighborhood out, and yet with you in it, that you can't even have a peace of mind. We're talking about those people who, yeah, that sold people literally, even to this day, selling people. Sex slave trade is a big business, and it's happening. And it might be your neighbor who's selling their own daggone kids for money.
I believe
Appleweed, brother, what you got to say?
Me?
You Appleweed.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear you. I apologize.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say that, and greetings, by the way. I'm glad to be on and been watching you for a long time. I really appreciate your service and your work. Thank you very much.
Appreciate you.
I just happened to catch this live today, and I just find it really interesting that there's information dating back much longer than we thought, much longer than I thought, about people who do that, people who sort of like don't value the lives of their own kind. And I think it's just kind of sad. And at some point, we have to move past that. But I can see where the problem lies in you don't know who's who. You don't know if the person that you're investing in, that you're loving, that you're caring about, that you're willing to do whatever for, is going to sell you out. I just think it's really sad that we in 2022 now. This is the 21st century, and we still dealing with that.
Yeah.
It don't make no sense to me. I think the same thing about Christians. Why are we still doing the same things that Jesus supposedly told us about? And you still got the same problems, the same sins. It just don't make sense to me. I just wanted to say that, sir, and I'm out of here. God bless y'all. Much love. Y'all have a great day, all right?
All right. Appreciate you, brother. You take care. Good seeing
Likewise,
you.
sir. Yes, likewise. Thank you.
So let me put the link back in the chat for some new panels. I appreciate you guys, brothers, who's come in and speak your minds and all that right there. But what do you think? What do you consider? We had James was saying that, one form of selling out, and he made a point, was that, the child support, there are those who are, for whatever selfish reason, whatever, maybe it's hate, maybe it's just being scorned or whatever, going to the system, turning one over, is that a sellout? Selling a people out because, you rather not try to come to a table of agreement and try to live harmoniously together, that there sometimes may be this problem where you might sell that person out. So, this can go on and on within a community that we call Black culture or black community, which I still say it's dismantled. Charlene Scott.
Hello, how are you?
All right, I cannot see you.
Well, because I just woke up and I look a fright, but I'll be nice and let you see me.
Okay, all right. You don't look a fright. What are you talking about? Go ahead.
Anyway, as I was wanting to say, I appreciate what you're doing. First of all, if I lose you, it's because I have a problem with my cord. I have to get a new one Monday. So anyway, what I'm saying is I appreciate what you're doing and bringing history in Africa to light. To get on the gentleman that was the Hebrew Israelite, I don't know a lot about the domain. I know some things about it. I know they were women warriors, but I do know this. He is a male. He is a Afro Jew, and I respect that because I follow those beliefs myself. But we must remember in modern times, the three most sexist religions are Muslims, Christians, and Jews, especially in their early days. Mm-hmm. What most people don't know, historically, African women always held a lot of freedom. the Egyptian women, especially the royal ones, the pharaohs had to listen to the female consul. How women got relegated to female consul was because Egypt always conquered their conquerors. But women got relegated to more or slightly lesser roles due to invasion with the Asiatic hordes that came across. That's how Egyptians got from black to light tan and a little more mixed looking. They say the Asian hordes absorbed the Kemet type people because Egypt said, you marry our women, you get the land, you get the, girls, the chocha, sorry. So that's kind of the history of Africa all the way through. Women held great power until Christianity, Judaism, and Muslimism. So I have some, and as where he was saying about the color purple, I haven't seen it in a long time, but Mr., the one that was trying to rape the little girl, I don't think when she ran away, he didn't give her to Africa or something. She went with a church that did missionary work and went to Africa, got stuck in the middle of a revolution and couldn't get their paperwork to get back. That's why it was so many years. But it's been a long time. I could be wrong, but it's been a long time. But I feel this brother is sincere about blackness, but when it comes to female power, I don't know. I do not doubt the domain females did castrate and did terrible things during war. We don't do that anymore. We try not to do that. We can see that the Geneva Convention isn't really applying to the Ukraine with Russia.
Yeah, it don't apply to a lot of things in Africa. I think you froze up, sister. It don't apply to a lot of things in Africa. Robinson, you have to turn off one of your links and mute it because I hear back. Robinson,
yes, sir.
turn off one of your links. You have to turn off one of your links or mute it.
Robinson, yes, sir.
Turn off one of your links. Yeah, because you got whatever you open up the link with.
And what about now?
Yeah, can you hear me? Wow. You got when you was watching originally, you hit the link and it opened you up to another one. That first one you was in, muted. Opened you up to another one. That first one you was in, muted.
Okay.
Opened you up to another one. That first one you was in. Okay, did you mute it?
Can you reach me, brother?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, you good.
Yeah. Well, I have not seen the movie as you guys are talking about, but
actually, we weren't talking about a movie. It just happened to be the brother was sharing some actual examples of how some of these the medias and things can cause dissensions and cause either the woman to be against the man against the woman, and we selling each other out. Yeah, go ahead.
I call it the Me Too movement, and I'm living in Denmark, and trust me, I see a lot of my black brothers dying. I'll call it dying because this is what we do every day. Because
what is that?
We get out of and we get shut out of work, and our girls, and they pretend to call us brothers, but when they go to choose love, right, they will always have a child with a white guy, and after that, all the trouble started because they will lose the child, and they'll come back to a brother and cry about their problem.
This is in Denmark.
Denmark, yes, sir.
Okay. Now you showed me something. You said this is all we do. What was that? I couldn't see.
It was the weed, because I saw your last stream.
So y'all smoking, staying high, and the sister's going to the white man.
Trust me, bro. We have to stay high. If we don't stay high, we become all this rap shit that we listen to. All the rap shit that we listen to is destroying so much of our mind that if we don't smoke, we will end it up do a 21 Savage. You know what I mean?
You don't think smoking is helping with that though, man? The problems?
To me, it helps me calm down because when I don't smoke, brother, when I don't smoke, I get arrested. I get arrested. I get accused of stuff I don't remember. Trust me, accusation after accusation. My life is just like the new life of Kanye West, and the way he have with his wife and the family, right?
Yeah.
This is how my life is right now. My whole family is against me, and
Okay,
my
let me ask
only
you a
life.
question. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
I'm from. Well, I was born in Rwanda, yes, but
Okay.
my family is from Angola.
Angola. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, when you say your family is against you, who are you referring to?
I'm referring to the family I have here,
And
who
you
is
talking about your
supposed to
family?
support me.
Who's your mama, daddy, sister, brother, your wife?
His mom and daddy, sister, brother, yes.
Okay. They against you. Why are they against you?
They against me because of all the accusation I'm getting from police. So now they're like, well, you're disgracing at the family, even though I am the oldest. And as we know about the Freemason, right? If you cut the head of the snake, then
Yeah.
you can have the whole snake, right?
Yeah.
I'm the oldest in the house, and I'm the one who actually control the whole things, right? After I've got uh, my education as a carpenter, everything started go down because then the whole system went against me.
Okay. And the system went against you because of what?
Because of a, a diploma as a carpenter. I've got a diploma as a carpenter.
You got a
So that
diploma.
means I have the access to money.
Okay.
And when you have the access to money, that means that you don't need the system anymore.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
All right. So what is your point, my brother? You're calling in, you're saying that what with the sellouts? Who's the sellouts? What's the problem? You're saying
Exactly.
you're saying the sisters, they have an issue with the brothers there in Denmark. They go run to
Exactly.
the white man, and then they have issues there. They come run back to the brother.
Yes,
So
sir.
they selling the brothers out.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. And so the what would the sisters say about the brothers there? What would they say about y'all?
Well, if you're looking like an American, well, then you are good to go, right?
Yeah.
But as soon as a Latino or a white guy comes around, then the sister changed. Then she's not the same girl as she's supposed to be.
I don't know about that. I don't know. I don't know. You know, I always held mine. I never had that problem. So, you know, I can't speak on that. But brother,
Yes,
okay,
sir.
because you came, okay, somebody asked me to send a link. You came on my platform, and you made your point. Let me ask you this right here. Do you date a white girl?
Well, yeah.
Okay, enough said, brother. All right, see, get yourself together first before going off on the sisters.
Bro, how come it's so much easier to deal with a white girl than it is with a sister?
Hey, man, look, I can talk to you, man, all day on this right here. I'm gonna say this right here. Check yourself as to why you've wrecked yourself.
I see.
Okay,
Yeah, bro.
let's pass the mic over to George. I appreciate you coming in, Robson. All
Thank
right.
you, bro.
All right.
Yeah, peace, man. I think that when listening to these conversations, it just shows how psychologically conquered we are as a people. And it's easy to turn around for us to blame each other. But you guys need to go back and read like the King Leopold's letter to the missionaries.
Mm.
Read Madison Grant's The Rising of the Great Race, P.W. Balfour, and it explained to you what they did to us psychologically, how they
Hmm.
broke us down. Now, I don't say that the black woman sold us out because I understand warfare. There's a group of other competing men that's warfare is not always guns, bombs, bullets. Warfare is psychological warfare. And their thing is to make us disrespect and destroy anything that we would use to affront them. So that's our culture, our history. They would take that away and they would keep the black woman in 9 months of suppression under them. This is what they did. So because
Hmm.
we're conquered people, what we do as black men is we sit around and whine all day. The biggest problem I have, brother, is the black man don't love his brother. And that's what they did. This is the part that we miss. All of us, we can intellectually break this down about what happened to us as a people. We can read all the books and read the story, but then we'll turn around and blame the women instead of using our mind to come together as black men, because there's other groups of competing men that's doing what they're doing to us. The black man don't love his brother. It ain't got nothing to do with the woman. If the black man start loving his brother globally to say this is what we want and this is what we're going to do, you'll see a systematic change. But the change is not going to come because the black man and another black man don't get along. And
Hmm.
they did that on purpose. Listen, women don't have a stand in the military to go invade your country and take certain things. Those are groups of other competing men. So your women are behaving the way they behave because she don't belong to you. She belongs to the nation that's actually controlling everything. So a lot of y'all men that come on here, y'all want to intellectualize and break everything down, and you got a 5th-degree black belt in white supremacy, but you ain't worked with a black man in years, then you the problem. Because you're actually proving Madison Grant and H.S. Chamberlain and all those people right. They're saying that we're not capable of doing things without having either white blood or them at the end of the table. The black man ain't capable of doing it. That's what they said about us.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
till you start wanting for your brother what you want for yourself and be willing to love and die for your brother, then we ain't gonna change nothing. And our women are gonna always be prey to our open enemy. So she's behaving the way she's designed to behave based off of what we're going through as black men under the system. So that's all I gotta say to it, man.
Hey, I appreciate what you're saying, George. I mean, and I'll add to that, it's no different than the young brother here, Robson, is an example, and not to beat him up or anything like that. You know, we sometimes cast blame on the sister, but yet we want to put all the women in one group of because of our bad experience with one or two or three. And yet when I had to realize when I was growing up that I had a conversation last night with my son, and because I'm trying to find him an African wife. And I told him this right here. I said, don't make her into a bitter whore at all. If this is a good woman, it is up to you now. The ball. It's this our place to really bring out that woman. You know what I'm saying? But instead of us casting a blame, can we also look at our fault? I mean, just like the young man Robinson who was just talking in Denmark. He dates a white girl. He smokes weed. What qualities do you have that you claim that the sisters run into white men and then they running back with the problems, and yet they said you saying they selling you out? I'm like this right here. I have never had a problem with women running to some Hispanic or white guy on me. Because I know how to hold myself at a place in a standard to where I'm just that attractive. And I can bring the best out of a woman. But back then when I was a player, I brought the worst out of a woman. And I can't blame them for that. I can't blame the woman for being bitter. Especially, mentioned a little earlier about my son's mother. I took her to court, but she was bitter. Why? Because I was a player. She wanted me. I was a player.
But I think that us as black men, we've lost the understanding of what real revolutionary is. And real revolutionary is reinstilling back what they took from us, the black family. Now, I'm not absolving the black woman of things that she does, but I understand in our captivity, I understand her behavior in our captivity because I know what they wrote in their writings and what they said that they would do. Most of y'all, most of y'all look at when y'all read these writings, y'all don't attribute it to what we're going through today as a people. So what I'm saying is, as black men, it's revolutionary to have a family. I'll ask this question before I jump off. These black boys that the world has, that the black community has expectations in, from the time a black boy is actually created between a man and a woman, as it's the womb, he has to be raised up on nationhood and culture. For your son, my son, he has to understand what his role is to himself and his community. If he's not raised up in that way, he will be destructive against anything until if he lives long enough to mature out of it. The problem is our communities are so disenfranchised and dysfunctional. Our boys are not being raised up to understand what their roles is. So when they become men, all they do is complain. They don't know that they're supposed to fight. They're not taught this because we don't have a cultural base that dictates how we talk, how we treat each other, how we interact. And because of that, what we hear is the women, the women, the women, the women, the women. That don't absolve the women of their stuff, but as men under a nation, nah, man, it's up to us. We gotta get it right. We gotta get it right. And like I said, it's not absolving the woman, but the black man has to love his brother. Until that, ain't nothing gonna change.
Yeah, I hear you. Appreciate you, brother. Fuller Williams, what's happening, bro?
Hey, go Black. How are you, brother?
I am good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Yes, I'm calling in from Delaware. And hearing our brothers talk is like, I'm from Africa originally. I'm from Africa, Liberia. I saw you when you visited Liberia and stuff like that. But the issue is, I think as Black people, we are so much divided. And the division comes from our geographical location. Even though we are trying to unite, can you hear me, Go Black?
I hear you.
All right. Even though we are trying to unite, but we still have that mental division. You understand? And I agree with the division because, like, a typical African American, he was not born in the continent. He's not originally like from the continent. He was originally from the continent, but he was born in America. He have he been Americanized and he adopted American culture. But we can be divided with that aspect. But when it comes to our unity, I don't think we should be divided with our ideology. Like we should have one goal, one purpose. You understand what I'm saying? That way we're moving as a group. But we still divided with our goals, our ideology, we still divided. Like a typical African say, oh, it's not my problem. It's the Black American problem in America. No, if it affect the Black American community, it do affect the African community because we won. They don't know us by our color of the skin or by our appearance. They don't know us from that. They know us as Black people. So it all boils down to that. Now, with the topic you have on the screen, I see the thing with Nigeria, stuff like that. I just want to throw some light on it. You know, sometimes African be accused of, betrayal or saying the fellow African into slavery. I know it did happen, but we can throw we can go back in the days. Africa was not divided at that time. The Berlin Conference didn't take place. Africa was one. So where we look at as Nigeria, though it is Nigeria, but the people there, maybe they were not Nigerian at the time. They were typical African. You understand what I'm saying? So with all that happened, remember it was 400 years. Nobody can fight the oppressor in 400 years over the same thing. At a certain point in time, it becomes a will of life. It becomes a will of life. So people were rather selling their enemies or selling those people that came to attack their village, you understand, into slavery rather than their next door neighbor. So that's how it worked. So, I understand the betrayal when it comes down. It's a long legacy of all the manipulation that happened back in the days with our brothers and sisters being taken to the diaspora and all these things trickle. What is happening right now between the family, the Black woman and the Black man? The Black woman and the Black man, it trickles down to to slavery and back in the days, everything that happened between us, because we saw ourselves divided and we couldn't help our ladies and they couldn't help us. So that division and that enmity came about between the both sex. But you know, I appreciate everything. And can I throw a light on that video you made yesterday about the family in Ghana that was returning? Yes. I watched that video and I was
Hold up, which video?
The one the family that was returning. I think they couldn't make it in Ghana because of some reason they were coming back to the US.
I don't even want to go. Not at this moment in time, brother. Yeah. That's a 2-year-old video.
Okay. I thought it was yesterday because I seen it yesterday on my clip.
Oh yeah. But I appreciate you, brother. Let me pass it on to Prince. All right. You have a beautiful day, brother. Peace and blessings to you.
You too. Thank you.
All right. What's up, Prince? You back, man? What's good?
Absolutely. Again, giving all praise and honor to Yahweh, the eternal one of our forefathers, Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. And thank you, Black to Africa, for having me on your show. But it was quite a few things that were said. You know, my reception in Tanzania was kind of messed up, so I want to apologize to the listening audience. But the elder sister that came on, first of all, I want to give respect to the elders, the Zakwanim in our community, because it's imperative that we respect our elders, as Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 6 and 7 states. But I want to just make a comment that she said. She identified me as being African Jewish. And I just want to make a slight correction. I'm not Jewish. I'm a Hebrew Israelite sovereign national. So I want to make a distinction. You know, Judaism is a European interpretation of Hebrew Israelite culture. So it's not a part of the 3 major religions. It's African in base. We are Bantu speaking Hebrew Israelites. Our lineage traces back to E1B1A, M2, and for females, L2, L3, if we talk in DNA. So the Bantu speaking tribes, West, Central, and Eastern Africa, we identify as the original children of Israel. So getting to my point, I have no quarrel with woman empowerment, okay? Because when you're talking about any type of cosmology and cosmology, there was always a duality balance. If there was a king, there was a queen. If there was a prince, there's a princess. There's a left, right, up, down, etc. Men and women in the Hebrew Israelite paradigm are equal, but equality doesn't mean sameness. Our roles are different. Our perspectives are different, but the responsibility is shared. Most Western so-called African-American women are getting equality confused with sameness, okay? And this was all put in use. We could see it in the Willie Lynch letters. Many things that they've done, whether you're talking COINTELPRO, counterintelligence program, if you're talking about Rex 84, King Alfred Plan, Project Megiddo, etc., etc. The whole objective was to break down the nucleus, which was the so-called black man. He had to be decapitated. He had to be. When I'm talking about this movie, Woman King, the sister has me confused. Why are we defending a movie that was fictitious? Yes, it had certain historical characters, but the screenplay, the writing itself, it was fiction. Even the people that played in the movie admitted that was fiction. Another thing that people are not pointing out, the same sister that played in the movie Black Panther from Kenya, she supposed to have the role of Viagra first. But what she did was in 2018, she went to Benin to research the screenplay script to see if it aligned with the historical narrative of what was being conveyed in the movie. She found out totally different. This is live. You can go on YouTube and see this. And she's crying, and she declined to play the role because what was conveyed in the movie wasn't the history behind Benin. It was, or the Dahomey tribe. Another thing we have a problem with, and the brother is correct, we do have a brotherhood problem. We do have to unite as brothers. And he said one of the problems is we have a problem with cultural affiliation. He's correct. We, the African Hebrew Israelites of Jerusalem that reside in Dimona, Israel, we are answering the challenge to that. Not him saying it's a challenge, but I'm speaking generally. We have a culture. We have a heritage. When the sister was trying to identify us culturally with the Egyptians, all black people in the United States are not Cometians. They're not Egyptians. When you study the DNA, the haplogroup of these people, they're E1B1B. African Americans are E1B1A. So we have to know lineages before we get up here and try to align everything dark as us. Notice we're the only people in the diaspora that, besides us, that left America and repatriated back to Africa. We're the only ones that try to use any type of African or black history to align with us. No other people does that. They are Pacific of what they're defining. When you look at the Dred Scott case, we got to deal with facts. We can't keep playing. When we look at the Dred Scott case, if you only have a mind, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, you have mind, soul, and body, but you don't have nationality and divine creed. So the nations of the earth can look at us as disdain and property and beasts of the field. So we have to be specific as to who we are. We can't just identify anything black and say that's us. That's false. That's what you call cultural hijacking. That just because a people is dark skinned, we think that we can take their history and align it with us. We have to be and clear as to who we are. This is why we in the mess that we in the debt. And I'm gonna say this, and people may not agree, until we get our spiritual crisis in order. I hear everybody saying this, that, and the third, but what is it about us? It's something about us. Out of all dark-skinned people on the planet, no one has shared such a historical collective in this roots or trails like so-called Negroes in the diaspora. These people that are suffering. And then when you look at the Tanakh or the biblical record, we can see that these are the children of Israel that had pronunciations that were given, and we violated that. That's why we're in captivity. We don't want to admit that portion of our history and align it with we did something in our history that caused us to be in America suffering the way that we're suffering. So what I'm saying is, when the sister said we were matriarchic first, that is not true. The matriarchic system came about through self-deception. The original system.
Prince. I don't want to cut you short, man. I don't want to cut you short. Okay. I know, man, and I love you, brother, because you got your wealth of knowledge, and everybody got their wealth of knowledge. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And so I know my sister just called back in, and I know what's going to happen. We're going to have a debate of knowledge, and because I come to an understanding about 11 years ago that this whole world is nothing but truth and lies, and truth is based upon one man's own understanding and his experience. And so we can debate over that all day long. And so I don't want to get into the tongue wrestling match of knowledge. So I appreciate the information because I want to really curtail the show. I'm going to let a couple more people in, brother, but I appreciate you.
Much honor to the sister elder. Much honor to the sister elder. Yo, keep up the good work, Black to Africa. I'm waiting for you to come to Tanzania again so we can chop it up. You stay with me for a few weeks.
Hey, I was just there, man, a few months, but I couldn't make myself up to Arusha because I had some things, man, was going on with my property. So, but I'll be back there though. I'm gonna be back there here in another month and a half, I think.
Come through Moshi.
Okay.
Okay. Right, shalom aleichem. Shalom, shalom.
right, my other brother just dropped off. Well, it's what I'm saying, family, is that we have a lot of people's views, a lot of people's perceptions and opinions, and really it doesn't get us anywhere. And I like a lot of people were saying things, that bits and pieces we can take from, and really we keep using this word unity. There's never going to be a totality unity when it comes to people color. I think Prince was hitting on something when you talk about the spiritual side. We must rock with those who have the same spiritual. And what does that mean, spiritual? Because I mean, that is even broken up in 1,000 pieces. Can we come on that? All right, we don't have to agree in totality with everything that you believe in, because we will never find a person that you believe in everything that they say or their thoughts. But can we start with the Most High? Let's just say that. Don't even give no names. Don't be give no religions. Do you believe there is one greater than you, outside of you, of a spiritual component? Can we walk hand in hand and defeat what is evil out here? What's up there, Tavares?
All right, how you doing, Go Black?
Good, brother. Good. How you doing?
All right. I was going to speak on that a little bit about our suffering and our suffering as blacks and with women and all of that. It's almost seems like to me at this point we in a mess and we can't get out that mess, and it's almost like we need a divine hand at this point. It's like because it's like we even know what to do. Like everyone's saying unity, yeah. But I've talked to people, for years since I've been a kid, and I always had a different mindset about it because I had a good father in the house. But when I was even a kid, I talked to friends, whatever, and they all have a different mindset than I have, and I can't understand it. But it seems like the mess that we in, we need a divine hand. It's like when God get in the spirit, we could talk to people till we blew in our face, till we can't even breathe no more. But it's like God has to get into the spirit of people, and then that's when you see the change. We've seen it in history with different cultures who suffer with different problems. But it's like when with the Jews or some, I don't even want to get into that because people may have different feelings about that. But what I'm just trying to make the point of when they was down and they couldn't do anything, but they needed that divine hand to get into their spirit to change things. And that's what I feel about us, because it's like most of our families, look at our families now. We don't have many strong families in our culture. And just in America, period. I'm in Tampa, Florida, but just in America, period. It not only our culture, this whole country is suffering with that. If you don't have a strong family, you're gonna crumble. You can believe that. It's just a matter of time. But that's why I say we need it in our culture. I know for a fact it's gonna take a divine hand, and I do believe it is a spirit working in with us, because just like you doing the Go Black to Africa on your channel, I remember when I was growing up, there was nobody really talking about Africa. There was nobody talking about it. Matter of fact, and I was talking to a young lady recently, and she was saying that she wanted to move to Africa. That's where she wanted to be a home. When I was in my 20s and whatever, I'm 37. When I was in my 20s and younger, it was nobody. They was ashamed to talk about Africa or say anything. You know what I'm saying? So I do believe there is a spirit working with us, and to bring that point, I believe Africa is our answer. It's not us out here in the diaspora. It's not us. It's Africa. Africa home has to be strong, and when home is strong, then we could get it together better. But we will be confused because we're under that hand that's controlling us. So Africa has to be strong. If you remember when Ethiopia was strong, all black strong. So to me, it takes Africa to be strong for us to be strong.
Well, I appreciate it, brother. Is your house strong?
My house, I was married, but I'm divorced now, and so it's I try to do what I can do. You know what I mean? So with my kids, I try to do what I can do, but it's that's why I say it's a tough thing, because you could try very hard, but you really need that family to be together. And if you got one working against you or whatever, you could try hard, and hopefully you end up, right at the end. But I understand in my family what to do, just because when I was growing up, I had my mom and dad in the house. I had a very good father. My dad was very good. I had a good father. I seen where when I was getting ready to go the wrong way, my dad would step in and he'd redirect my path. And that's what I see with a lot of men, is they don't have no one when they're young to when they're going the wrong way to change their route. I've seen many times where I was going the wrong way. My mother, she did what a mother do, but she didn't even understand that, how to redirect me or when to step in. A father knows when to step in and how to do it, to redirect his son's path. And so, yeah, so I do work with my kids or whatever, but I do believe you need them very close to you, especially now. It's like the temptation temptation for me is hard now. So imagine a kid,
Oh yeah.
so we need our families close.
Good words, brother. I appreciate, man, the words that you bring. Good to hear from you. Peace and blessings, brother.
Peace and blessings. Thank you.
Yeah. So, family, let me say this right here. The conversations kind of went left and right and straight and back. But we all have something to say. If you notice, everybody wants to share their part. Everybody wants to put their 2 cents in. Everybody wants to share their solution or their ideas, their opinions, and their views. This is what I'm finding out. I'm 56 years old, and this is what I'm finding out, is that we, emphasis on we, have a tendency to put us all in the same bucket. And we may not all be experienced that pain. Tonight there were men talking about, their thoughts on the women's position and all these things right here. And I got out of that conversation when it comes to speaking of what women are doing. Because I know for me in my house, it's good. And a lot of us always want to generalize. We want to generalize the whole. I think that right there is selling out. I think if you're married and you have your house in order, why do you open your mouth out with what's going on in the Black community when it comes to women ain't no good when you got your wife at home? Men ain't no good, but is your relationship? Because I think everything starts at home. Yes, if you want to say the community's damaged, I don't even want to even affiliate myself with what has transpired and what has been basically grown into what you call a Black culture. I'm so far past that. But what I'm willing to do is to show light to people, they can come out of that mess. Because there are sellouts. We are very destructive in our own behaviors. And sometimes we propagate and we will go ahead and continue to push, stuff that doesn't need to be pushed. When you start generalizing about women, you can't speak for all women. Just say me and my experience. Women should say this, me and my experience. But we would allow 1-2 bad experiences grab a take and cause the whole, and then we perpetuate or we will propagate that mess and cause a fire that we all hate each other. And I believe the mess all stems from the man. Brother's gonna have to fix it. Brother's gonna have to fix it. Like I told y'all, I told my son, look, don't make her into a bitter whore. It's a man who make a woman a whore. Now, some people are going to argue with me on that. No, think about it. I just remember back in the day, y'all remember now, and I might get a little bit adult here, so I'm quite sure we all adults. But even when the good woman wouldn't do what you wanted her to do, you would apply pressure on her to do that very thing that she objected to. Many of y'all went across the grass, right? Or I would say even I, looking for those fulfillments that a sister wouldn't even done back in the day. The treatments and all that stuff right there. Look, I will say this until I take my last breath. It is a man who actually creates a woman. Yet it's actually a woman who also creates the man. And for those who don't understand that, it's when two comes together and build and becomes one, you're actually building each other, but you're building the oneness, whatever, into a powerful house. And for a man to blame a woman, I'm going to tell you, you really have to think in where you stand. A woman is as of the weaker vessel. I don't care what a woman might say, whatever, but it's true. A woman will change quick for a man rather than a man change for a woman. That's facts in my experience. There's been many women who's been trying to change me, but I've changed a lot of women. There are women out here who will do things they never thought they would do for a man and do it to this day, just for the sake of love for him. But you try to get a man to change his way, a woman, please. The only way a woman develops a man is in how she wants him to treat her. That's it. That's the only power a woman got is over herself. But it ain't it interesting? It was written in ancient right that a man should have power over you, woman. Isn't that true? Because we keep talking the conversation goes to black man, black woman. No, man, it's your fault. It's our fault. You know how many layers of pain I put on women? But women, you got to take responsibility too. But as the weaker vessel, you were only subjecting yourself to things that I were putting on you because of the fact that I took advantage of a feminine energy's heart. That I knew how to get the heart and then use it. That's the downfall of what a woman don't understand, the power she has with her heart. And men don't understand that the power of that woman will die for you. And all we got to do is stand up and be men. We too busy running around trying to hit and split every little thing that runs around here that's got a split between the legs. And yet the thing of it is that now we mad at her. Oh, we blaming her. I'm going to use my brother Robson as an example, who was calling from, Denmark. I asked him the question, what would that woman say about you? See, it's hard for us to admit. I ain't never, ever heard a man admit he cheated on his woman. Never. Went through the marriage, it was her fault. Come to find out, oh, so you cheated? Oh, see, why can't men admit their faults? Why can't the men say, yeah, I was out there whoring. Yeah, I was out there doing wrong. Yeah, I was abusive and beat my wife. Yes, I was out there doing these things that I wasn't supposed. Yeah, I don't hear men say that. And will blame a woman for the reasons of his downfall. But Robson is going to sit here in one breath and blame a black woman, but he effing around with a white woman. To each his own. But don't dare talk about a black woman when your tail's over there with a white woman. And talking about she running over to the white man. Do you see the ignorance that we think and how we do? I mean, I tell my daughters this right here. Yo, I want to choose your husbands. Because the pickings are slim in America. To find a man who got himself together, a man, not talking about males, we're talking about men. For their age group, 24 and 23, the pickings are slim for one that got himself together and one that was raised by a man to teach him right and how to be respectful and how to treat a woman. Sorry. Let your dad handle that one. Let your dad handle that one. Because we as men are going to be the one, like our brother said, men have to be able to respect one another as men. What does that mean? Well, ain't I my brother's keeper? Do we have to debate and argue all the time? Can't we just listen, try to hear somebody out? We're so much like, that's why when my sister called back, because I wasn't going to let my brother Prince back on because I knew he wanted to respond. And our sister called back in and she dropped off. I didn't want to bring her back, but I wanted to show the respect and have her. But I know where it's going. We need to learn not to have the last say so. And respect. Everybody has their own tree of knowledge of good and evil. Everybody eat off of it and have their own knowledge. You go to one source and find information that contradicts another source. And we will debate over it. That's why I said truth is only one man's own understanding and his experience. And you're going to find a man who's going to argue against his experience and his understanding because that person who's arguing against him had something totally different. And we will argue over it day and night. No, it ain't. This is what it say. And you reading, whose books are you reading? A man's, whether he's black, white, China, whoever wrote those books. You're going to find another one by his experience, by the knowledge he has, can contradict another's. And this is dangerous. So why can't we as a people say, look, let's put aside, man, let's put aside this. Can we hold hands together and walk in unison in one direction in your household? Because it's never going to happen as a whole. As our brother Prince said, and y'all know, like I say, every brother is not a brother because of his skin color. That's so far from true. If you break down all of these different categories that people associate themselves with, we will never. But what about in the spirit of love? The spirit in respecting the Most High? Can we do that? So I'm saying, men, we're at fault. Woman was made for us. You can't blame woman. Sorry, it can't happen. No. And not every female is a woman. This is the thing I keep telling people. Every male is not a man and every female is not a woman. We have to stop giving out titles to people who have not walked into that position. In my experience, I ain't never had a woman who really cheated on me, disrespected me in a fashion to where it was like, belittle me as a man. It typically that was brought on if I messed up and was just jackhead and just doing things out there that I wasn't supposed to do. We can't blame one. To blame a woman is to say you're not man. To blame the woman is to put her in the position of the authority. Everything stems from us. If we made it a wreck, we should be men enough to fix it. Point blank. Women is just in survival mode. That's all a woman is doing. She's in survival mode. She is going to argue, kick, scratch, and throw dirt on the pain that from that joker she was with. And she's going to generalize us all in that boat. I understand it and I get it. But for a man to blame a woman, you got to ask yourself, hold up. I thought we were supposed to be the so-called the rock of the relationships in the marriages. I thought we were supposed to be the men and she's the woe man. Anyway, family, this notorious Nigerian slave trader, which was supposed to have been the conversation, but it came around still in the same line of selling out. We sell each other out into slavery. This slavery is nothing more than a mental bondage. That when you hold people in bondage long enough, they begin to attack each other. When I go around Africa, I still scratch my head and say, how in the hell does millions of people only let 1,000 rule them? How does thousands of people, slaves, can let 100 people rule over them? How can 43 million Black people in America allow only a certain amount of police officers to dismantle a group? How does the masses always get ruled by the minority? How? How do you allow the small numbers to control the masses? It's because you never had trust in each other. You never had the bond, and you was not willing to die. Kanye West said slavery was a choice, and he was absolutely right. And sometimes I think about that. Not what he said, but think about the slavery that happened. Who was the hero and who was the cowards? Were the heroes the ones who jumped off the boats or killed themselves not to go into bondage? And was the cowards the ones who lived to save their own necks? Sometimes I have thoughts like that. Are we descendants of cowards? This is just a thought. I'm not saying. I'm just saying. This is a thought. Because my thing of it is that how is it that we now are like at a place where there was some sense of unity as a whole? We knew we were all against a war of a supreme white supremacist system that was against us. And as soon as the integration came, we all divided and now look down upon each other. Well, family, this is your man, not your boy. We need to go back to the base of where it originated, started, as the man, the woman, the child, which means go Black to Africa. Peace out, family. Y'all have a beautiful day.